Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I went to Target actually because I heard that there were some Lego sets that have been released early, and so I did my due diligence and I went to check it out, and sure enough, they had some sets early. First one that I picked up was actually this. This is not early, I don't think. I'm pretty sure this came out back in June, but I really like the figure, and also the astromech head is pretty neat, so figured I'd pick it up since I was already getting a bunch of Star Wars stuff. But the two sets that I ended up getting were the overpriced battle pack. Yep, I did go ahead and get that simply because it was early, and I also wanted to do a review for you guys, or at least like a quick overview of this and compare it to the previous battle pack, which had the 3 regs and then the shock trooper. So I have one of those sealed so I can actually open it up, and I'll do that in this video and show you guys the comparisons between these two sets. But there is that there. And then the final set that I picked up is to actually kind of round out the collection here, which is the Battle of Fallujah Separatist MTT. Again, they had it early and they let me buy them early, which was really awesome. And so I will be building this and making a review of it because I've heard a lot of talk online about the turbo tank, which, by the way, they did have at my Target, but I did not get because I didn't want to have to deal with potential design flaws and other things like that, and $160 for that felt like a ripoff. Whereas with this, maybe it could be justified with the building experience because I've seen pretty good things about it. So I'm not totally sure what to expect with the MTT here, but I will be building this and making a review of it, so definitely stay tuned for that. But in this video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unbox this and review it for you, and then compare it to the previous battle pack, and then we can see how all of that compares. All right, so here are the two battle packs that I'm going to be comparing in this video here. So as you can see, the brand new 327th Star Corps Clone Trooper battle pack is on the left here. It is set number 75431, and it comes with 258 pieces, along with 7 minifigures if you include droids, but it's really 4 figures plus the 3 droids, which is actually less than the Clone Trooper and Battle Droid battle pack on the right here, which is set number 75372 and contains 215 pieces. And as you can see, if you include battle droids, it comes with 9 figures, but it's really 4 figures plus the 5 droids. So now, as you can see, the boxes are exactly the same size. They are the same depth, the same height, same width. So they are the exact same thing. This one on the left is 258 pieces, and the one on the right, which is the older one, has 215 pieces. And so in order to open these up, they have the little thumb tabs on the back. So you can just open this up, and I will show you guys what is inside, and then we can compare it to the older battle pack to see what justifies the price difference here. So as you can see, there is nothing left in this box here. And there are 3 numbered bags. So this one is pretty small, as is this one. And then bag 1 is just that there. And then there is 2 instruction manuals along with a sticker sheet. And then for this battle pack on the right here, again, the same thumb tabs that you press in. And then opening this up, you can see that this has nothing left in the box. And this one also has 2 instruction manuals, one for the droid on the right here, and then the other one is for everything else. And this one also contains 3 bags. So just so you guys can get a fair comparison here, the one on the left has 3 bags and a sticker sheet, whereas the one on the right has 3 bags along with no sticker sheet, and then each of them have 2 instruction manuals. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to build this one on the left for you, and then I'm not going to time lapse this one because this set is older and it's just for the sake of comparison. So I am going to be time lapsing the 327 Star Corps battle pack on the left, and I'll time lapse it for you, and I'll show you guys what exactly the set has to offer, and then we can talk about the value and price and all of that towards the end of the video. All right, so in this build, you start off with the spider droid here and also the super battle droids. And then once you complete that, then you move on to the walker. And then you just build that across bags 2 and 3. And you put all the stickers on pretty much at the same time. And they're all right around the section where the figure sits. So that is not too bad. And it didn't take me that long to build either. So with that, let's go and check this out in real time to see how it all looks. And so here is the set in its entirety here. I do still have the box in the background, just as a little bit of a backdrop, I guess. And so it didn't take me that long to build, like I said. And I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I did spend $45 on this. I just want to make that clear before we get into the review. But to get it out of the way, this is a little stud shooter cannon. So you can load your tiles in here, and then you can just press the button and then the stud flies out and then you never see it again. So it works pretty good, but it is a toy. And so if you're buying this for a kid, they might have fun with it. But for someone like me, it doesn't really add that much value to the set. And then so coming to the spider droid here, this actually looks pretty good. I thought it looked kind of goofy in the pictures, but actually getting my hands on it and building it, I do actually quite like it. I like the pieces that are used in it. I like how the eyes are positioned on here. And so I think this is actually overall not a bad toy. And so here is the spider droid kind of more up close here. I don't think the joints here are all that great, to be honest with you. The clip that's actually connected to the 8-sided bar piece doesn't really work that great. That's the one that hinges as opposed to the one, like one joint out. So it doesn't really work that great, but it does work decently well because it has the clear piece underneath. So then you can just kind of place it on the table and then kind of just splay the legs how you want, which is good for play. And then the cannon just goes up and down. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any other mobility, but I do think for what it is pretty good and it's a nice toy. And it also doesn't look bad on display because it doesn't have the stud shooter on it. But these 3 battle droids are all the same. There's not really much to report with them. They just have the exact same arms, and then their bodies are one mold and the legs are another. Now, to talk about the walker here, which is the bulk of the set, as you can see, the walker itself is pretty nice, actually. It is comically oversized, but I do think that that's good for play. And I think overall, the size of it isn't terrible. I like the yellow on it. I like the stickers. I think those add a little bit of value to them. And then this kind of spin around just helps give you a little bit of size and scale and also the detail on every side. This doesn't have a camera unfriendly angle, but as you can see with the minifig next to it, it is insanely huge. And my finger here is supposed to show about the height of one in universe. So this is just way too big. But coming in here, you can see the different points of articulation. So there's one up here, there's one under this dish as well, and then there's one at the ankle. And it's kind of hard to get this into an action pose or a walking pose. I tried to do this off camera and I wasn't able to get it. So let me try one more time to see if I can get this to work. And this is actually as far forward as the legs go, except for the ankle, obviously. But then it's just like eating the ground. So it's not really any good there. But each of the poses that I'm trying, each of the ratcheted joints, and this is actually not supposed to fall off, but each of the different joints here aren't really helping make a good spot for it. I guess this kind of works, but then if you come in and you just kind of tap on it, let's see if that helps. Yeah, if you just tap on it, it's going to fall over. So that is not ideal. I don't love that, but the console there is printed, which is nice, and it has a handlebar for figures to grab, so that is good to see. And then the details on it is pretty nice, actually, and the clips on the back are nice as well. So you can put 2 minifig accessories there for whoever is driving the ATRT. And then the front here has the stud shooter on a ratcheted joint, so it only goes up and down, unfortunately. I would have loved to have seen this on a ball joint. But here are the 5 stickers, and so there's one here, and then there's one here on the tile, one on the cheese slope, and then one on these flags on either side. And these are the 5 stickers in the entire set. So you go through about 8 steps maybe, and you just place all 5 stickers pretty much in sequence. So that is just something to note if you don't like applying stickers. But other than that, the build was straightforward, just bricks on top of bricks. There was no Technic involved. It was pretty basic. But with that, we can go ahead and start to take a look at the minifigures right now. So as you can see here, the torso has pretty nice printing on it, actually, and it kind of comes down into the hips and the legs here. The comma on the side is printed on the edge of the leg, but it's not printed on the side of the leg, and you don't get a cloth piece or even a plastic piece to get the comma all the way around. So that is unfortunate, but you do get this plastic shoulder pauldron piece, which is actually really nice. This is very deluxe. I don't know if they intended to print this in yellow, but it looks almost like a goldish color, so it doesn't really match the yellow of the print on the helmet and the torso, or the yellow of the plastic in the arms. So that is unfortunate, but the piece itself is nice, and it's not super oversized, and I think it looks pretty good. And then the face is the same between all four of them. It's just the standard clone face that they've been using for a number of years now. And then the helmet itself looks pretty good, I think. There's a little bit of wear on it. There's a scuff, which is an intentional print. That's not an accident. There's a couple of scuffs, and then that is pretty much that there. Now, each of them, two of them have the same blaster. One of them has the little pistol and a pair of binoculars. And then the fourth one here has the longer rifle with a candlestick on the end of it. And then this is probably the best part about it, which is this rangefinder piece. This is brand new for 2025. Let me see if I can get you guys a close-up shot of that. It was first seen in the Jango Fett Slave 1, or Jango Fett Starship, however you want to say it. But that ship came with this for the first time, and so right here you can see it on the Clone Troopers as well, and I think it looks really good. And the best part is that not only do you get the one for your figure, but you get two extras as well. That is pretty neat. So you can use them on other figures. If you have an extra Boba Fett laying around, you can throw them on there. If you have other clones with helmet holes, then you can also use them for that as well. So I think this is pretty cool. I think that looks really, really nice. But that is it. That is the entire set. So with that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to reset the table a little bit, and we can talk about price and value. And so here are the extra pieces. These are actually really useful pieces. I really appreciate the 2 extra rangefinders and also the black stud on top and clip underneath piece. It's new for 2025, and I think it's great. And then also the sticker sheet was pretty minimal. All right, so now is the time to talk about value and also the price. So like I said earlier, this was not a sponsored review. I paid $45 US for this set. And just to put that into comparison for you, the recent battle pack that came out last year is this one right here, like I showed at the beginning of the video. This one cost $30 US, and nowadays you can find it on sale from Amazon or Target or even Walmart. You can find them for 20% off, so $24 US for this. Now, for the sake of the comparison, I'm going to talk about retail prices here, so 30 versus the 45 over with the new set. But that is just something to keep in mind. If you are ever looking for that set there, it is on sale at certain places, so you just have to know where to look. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is actually this. This is set number 75280. This is the original 501st Battle Pack before they started doing the helmet holes. So this is from 2020, and this retailed for $30 US as well. This has more pieces than the other one, as you can see, 258 versus the 285 here. This one also comes with 4 clones, and then it has 2 droids here, and it has a very similar ATRT build, as you can see right here. So just take a mental note of that. And in fact, this one is bigger. As you can see, this notch at the bottom here is only a 2 long brick, whereas the one on this set here was a 4 long. So there's that, and then instead of a Separatist Force, you got another speeder, which I think is fine. Obviously, both of them are oversized, but I think for what this was, it was good. Now, just pulling that back and then kind of reassessing this set here, it was $45, and that is absurd. That is absolutely ridiculous because it is 50% more than this one, and this one's not even retired yet. You can still get this on store shelves. You can walk into a Lego store, you can go on Lego's website, or you go to Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, any of those places, and they'll have this. And so that is just really ridiculous to me that they can justify making this 50% more than its predecessor and still have it on the market. I just don't get it. Even if this did retire, $45 would still be too much for this, but it's just such a blatant comparison that it is really ridiculous, to be honest with you. And the figures are great. I really think that the figures are well done, and as a toy, I think the ATRT is great. I really do. I think it's really neat. Obviously, it's oversized. If you're someone who cares about screen accuracy, you could probably part this out and make something that's a little bit more size accurate as opposed to this. And then the Separatist Forces as a toy, I think is great. I think you get a nice, almost even balance between clones and droids so that you can have a battle and tell your stories. Now, this set here, this new battle pack, is a tie-in with the brand new MTT, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, the Battle of Fallujah. As you can see, Commander Bly is in this set here, and he is the leader of the 327th. So this is essentially an expansion pack onto that, and that set is $160 US, which I'll talk about in its own review. So make sure that you guys are subscribed so you don't miss when that video drops. But for the sake of this video here, this is essentially an add-on. You're supposed to be buying multiples of this set in order to supplement that other set, or you can just army build with it, or you can just get one and play with it as you see fit. And so as a kid's toy, I think this is a really good set if it was half price. Even with this set here, when it first came out, I thought $30 was a little much for it, but $45 for this, which is essentially the same thing, if not less than this, is an even worse deal by far. So you would have to get this on a discount of about 50% in order to get it worth your while. Or at the very least, at the same price as the Clone Trooper and Battle Droid Battle Pack. Even if Walmart and Amazon and Target and those places discount this to 20% off, it would still be too much. You would bring it down from $45 US down to 36, which is still 20% more than the battle pack on the right there. So that is really ridiculous, to be honest with you, but there's not much else I can say other than don't buy it. It's really not worth it. The only reason I bought this was to review it for you guys and make a video about it. And so I hope you guys found this informative, or at the very least entertaining, but that's all I have to say. And so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful for you. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads like that MTT review. And once again, if you guys have any feedback for me, if you bought this set or if you have strong opinions about it, drop your comments down below. I'd be very curious to hear if you guys agree with me, if $45 is way too much for this, or if you think a discount of 20% thereabout would be fine. Let me know in the comments below. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.